Hi, everyone. Welcome to the PokeBeach.com podcast. My name is John. I go by Water Pokemon Master on the website, and I am joined, as always, by the wonderful
Justin Basil of justinbasil.com.
And we have quite a bit of news over the past couple days, especially last night. So should we just jump right into it?
I think we should. I know we didn't do a podcast last week, but there actually wasn't all that much news last week.
Yeah,
so it's basically all this week.
I was
really the last couple of days.
I was out of town last weekend, and my mini laptop is just not powerful enough anymore, I guess, to record multiple streams and everything. So we were just like, let's just skip that week. So I think we've only skipped 3 weeks since we started, almost a year ago?
Yeah, we started September, was it, last year?
Yeah, I think. So. All right, so what should we start with? Should it be like Stellar Miracle?
Sure. Let's start with Stellar Miracle. There's a lot there.
Yeah,
it's huge.
So all 102 cards from the set were revealed last night. The set releases next Friday in Japan. They also revealed some new illustration rares and secret rares, as you can see right here. Milcery, Gulpin, Crispin, Lacey, and I still don't know how to pronounce this one. Dachshund EX. Dachshund? How do you say it?
Dachshund.
You say Dachshund.
So it's based on a Dachshund, right? It's a Dachshund.
Dachshund. Okay. All right. So Stellar Miracle, as we talked about before, introduces Stellar Pokemon to the TCG. We've talked about that before. And they're based on the Crystal Pokemon mechanic from the E-Card series, and also Shining Pokemon from the earlier Neo era, in that they have multiple energy types for their attack costs. And let's go over the newly revealed cards. What do you want to start with that you think is important?
Let's start with Rotom, shall we?
Rotom. Okay, here we go.
So we have Harvesting Dash, which does 30 damage. Before doing damage, discard all Pokemon tool cards and special energy cards from your opponent's active Pokemon. So this is kind of a niche card, but I think it's one that could see play. You're doing a little bit of damage, but the good effect here is just nuking tools and special energy, which pretty good.
Nice. And then let's see, what else do we have?
We have talked a lot about most of these cards. I think we could probably go to Metacham EX. Probably our next one we'll hit.
Got it.
I'm going to scroll through here, so I'm kind of keeping track of it. So Metacham EX has the attack Chiatsu for 2 colorless energy. It says put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon until its remaining HP is 50. And then you have Yoga Kick for fighting double colorless, which does 190 damage. This attack's damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance. So this card mostly is highlighted because it's an EX. I don't think it's that great, but with Chiatsu, you could do some big knockouts with stuff like Radiant Hisuian Sneasler and other poison augmenting Pokemon to try to hit that 50 number right after hitting them with Chiatsu. So theoretically, at least, you could get a knockout against a big Pokemon with Metacham EX.
Your audio cut out again, so all I heard was the last 3 words. With Metacham EX. That's all I heard.
Yeah, it's funny because it doesn't cut out in the recording, but it always cuts out for you.
I know. Were you saying it sucks?
Pretty much.
Okay.
It's like it's possible to make it work, but probably not
good
worth
enough
is the issue.
Okay.
And then the only other real big-ish cards, and I say big very laughingly, they're going to be more interesting once we lose with Lost Vacuum. I'll give them that. We saw new berries last night, so there are a pair of berries that are fairly interesting. There's Papaa Aquaberry and I think is Okaberry or Aquaberry. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what fruit that's based on. I would say probably Okaberry. It's probably based on cocoa. I would say
cocoa and papaya.
Cocoa bean.
Yeah, it looks like
Papaa. I know that one's obvious, but
it
that
does
looks
look like a chocolate.
Cocoa.
Yeah, chocolate.
Yeah, it looks like a cocoa bean
thing.
But we'll say aqua bean. Anyway, so these basically do the same thing, but for a different type. So you attach this as a Pokemon tool, and then the Papaa Aquaberry reduces damage from an attack from Psychic Pokemon by 60, and then you discard the card. And Aquaberry does the same thing, but it's from Fire Pokemon by 60. So in either case, you're getting a 60 damage reduction, which is pretty significant. As long as these types are good, those these cards could definitely see some use. Even with Lost Vacuum format, I could maybe see Papaa Aquaberry being an interesting inclusion if Gardevoir is a huge concern as an opponent. But we'll see. This is one of those things where it's like, well, that card could be good. It could be very interesting in the right situation, in the right meta. But we'll see.
Why did they make Okaberry? Like, what fire Pokemon are they trying to counter?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Seems kind of random.
The only Pokemon in the format that would be a fire Pokemon of note would be Charizard, except it's Darkness typed.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what they're trying to stop there. Psychic I can understand as being Guardy. Guardy's pretty good. But yeah, fire, maybe they're just trying to be preemptive about it. Or maybe they're going to eventually give us a bunch of berries like they gave us a bunch of gloves. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of random when we saw it last night. So yeah, maybe it is preemptive, or like you're saying, could be they're going to release a whole bunch of berries. And then what else did we have? We got this revealed during the previous
this
week.
So that was revealed last week.
Yeah.
Delux Bomb is an A spec. I don't think it's really worth the A spec designation, but sure, it's an A spec. It says if the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if this Pokemon's knocked out, put 12 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon, then discard this card. So it's kind of like Giant Bomb, but not. It's just not great, in my opinion.
Not worth the A-Spec slot in your deck.
No, there are so many other cards that are worth that spot more. Stuff like Unfair Stamp, Legacy Energy, Prime Catcher, even Maximum Belt. Just objectively better.
Was there anything else revealed since the last episode that we should talk about? I'm trying to look.
There were a few cards that were revealed last week, I think.
Did we talk about Cinderace?
I don't think we did.
Yeah,
Cinderace is not too bad.
Let's talk about Cinderace real quick. Just give your...
We also could talk about Driflim while we're at it.
Okay.
So Cinderace is a stage 2, obviously. 320 HP. Has the Flare Strike attack for Fire Double Colorless, which does 280 damage during your next turn. This Pokemon can't use Flare Strike. 280 damage, nothing to scoff at. And maybe this is what they're worried about and why they're putting that berry out. Who knows? This is a fire type. So, and then you have Garnet Volley, which does 180 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And that's for Fire Fighting Darkness type there, which is very, very specific types. I don't hate Cinderace. I don't know how good it's actually going to be, but it seems okay. And speaking of okay cards, let's look at Driflim.
Driflim. Control F Driflim. Here it is.
So Driflim is a spiritual reprint of a fortress from the Heart Gold and Soul Silver era.
Right.
It has the attack Everybody Explode Now, which does 50 times
Everyone
damage
explode now.
for each Driflim and Driflim you have in play. And then it does 30 damage each of your Driflim and Driflim in play. So you can get a decent amount of damage in play. You know, you can get 4 pretty easily. So like 200 damage. And then you use something like Monkey Dory to move damage counters off of your Pokemon, perhaps caused by Everybody Explode Now, and get it up to 260 if you have a couple of them down. So it's not bad, and you only have 1 energy cost also, which is not too bad if you're having to stream these. We have stuff like Night Stretcher that's come out in Shrouded Fatal to make these a little bit more streamable. So I kind of like this as a single prize, like a kind of a rogue single prize deck. Probably not especially competitive, but certainly a fun one to play with.
Yeah, I remember when that attack name was first revealed back in the day, and everybody was getting a good chuckle out of it. I love when they come up with these like really weird names, like these. They should they should put more jokes into their English translations, like what we do sometimes, or I guess what I do. They've
been doing a couple of them. They're getting there.
Yeah. All right. Was there anything else? I don't think. So
let's see. Most of the set has pretty much been sapped of joy at this point. Yeah. I think we're good on Stellar Miracle, we could look at some of the English cards that were revealed. I think one of the biggest things for Stellar Crown, of course, is going to be that we're finally getting the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur. We got the Charmander that was associated with these two in Obsidian Flames a year ago.
Yeah.
So we were waiting a whole year for these two cards. And based on the cards we have seen, we're currently predicting that Garganacl EX is finally coming out in English. That's been also about a year since we've seen it in Japan, and that is finally coming out in English too.
Yeah, I thought. Remember, you said you thought it would come out in a box because of Minecraft Kids or something, and I was like, I don't see this working.
This is a possibility.
I was like, this. I can't.
No, I said it was a possibility because they kept cutting it and cutting it and cutting it and cutting it. And
obviously, we're obviously speculate when we're talking about when cards might come out. But I was like, this one for an EX box, like it's such a weird Pokemon. I don't even know where its face is in this art. I mean, I know it's right here, but you have to really look at it to figure out its design. I was like, that's not going to sell as an EX box. So now they've shoved it in.
I mean, they've made worse EX boxes.
Yeah, I suppose so. So TPCI's European branch sent out these card images to various large gaming websites, and you can see them all here. Some of them are in other languages.
I think the most disheartening news for people is going to be that this is 100% confirmed now, going to be incorporating many of the cards from the Battle Academy into this set. So just like Obsidian Flames, this is basically 100 card Japanese set plus a lot of extra bulk. Is what it comes down to. And unfortunately, because of the nature of the Battle Academy and sets like it, just like Obsidian Flames, a lot of the pulls from the set, a lot of the EXs that you would hope to at least have some interest in, they're just junk.
Yeah, although one EX will be cut if it's any consolation. The Houndstone EX is going to be cut supposedly based on the card numbers we have right now. But you do get the Bulbasaur and Squirtle, which I love, and then of course Venusaur and Blastoise, which are always fan favorites.
It's nice to get those. Blastoise is decently playable. Venusaur would be decent if we had some sort of good grass acceleration in the format. And before you at me, no, Gardenia's Vigor is not good grass acceleration. It's junk. It's okay to have reprints of them. They're different arts, which is okay, but yeah.
These are the kind of EXs you're gonna pull that you're gonna be like, why?
Yeah. Where they're just like flip a coin for 100 damage kind of things. They're like horrible cards.
Or just Lucario
Vanilla 50, vanilla 120 for 3 energy on a 2 prize Pokemon. Yeah.
No attack effects.
That's super
nothing.
playable.
It doesn't have anything special about it, but you do get to see, because the card is so plain, you get to see that these cards actually do have the card template backgrounds are semi-transparent. You can't always see that, but you can on this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's it for Stellar Crown. Those cards were just revealed this morning.
Yeah, Stellar Crown. And then we get the Gym Promo Series 7 from Japan, which is nice.
Yeah, they'll be releasing this month at their gym tournaments. Every player will get one booster pack coming with one of 7 promo cards, and 4 of them are brand new: the Yanmega line, Veluza EX, and Billy and O'Near. So, what you want to talk about?
So Yanma and Yanmega are pretty bad. They're just people who like Yanma and Yanmega will like those cards. Veluza. It's unfortunate that's how we get Veluza as an EX, but it is what it is. So you get Razor Fin for 30 damage, which is 1 water energy, and then for double water colorless, you get Purge Strike. It says you can discard your hand, and if you do, you do 120 more damage. So you're doing 120 base, if I'm not mistaken, and then 120 more if you nuke your hand. So you're doing a whole 240 damage for discarding your entire hand and putting 3 water energy on a squishy 210 HP basic Pokemon.
I don't particularly like Veluza as a Pokemon anyway, so I'm glad they made it into a promo so that it doesn't waste, full art slots and potentially a special illustration rare. I mean, it would never get it, but I'm glad they kind of did it here. Then we don't have to worry about its other cards. It's just a fish. It's a fish, and I'm a water Pokemon master. I love water Pokemon, but this one's just a fish.
Yeah, it's a fun fish though.
Yeah.
And then Billy and O'Near. This is a card that's in search of a use. It's a support card that says draw 2 cards. Then if you have 10 or more cards in your hand, draw 2 more cards. I know some people were like, oh, it's Tinka TX support. But people were also pointing out that by the time you have 10 cards in your hand, you're already doing quite a lot of damage for Tinka TX. So you're really not actually benefiting much more after this point anyway. And so the card's just kind of junk. But the unique cards from these gym promo sets generally aren't that great. Garganacl is kind of an exception, and even it's not very good.
Yeah, and we probably aren't going to get these for up to a year. I mean, the Garganacl, we just saw that come out. It used to
be we would get them about 6 months later. So, like, theoretically, we could have gotten this card in December or like November, perhaps. Or this actually 6 months from now would be like what,
early
January?
Next year, yeah.
So it'd be our mini set most likely. But yeah, I mean, they've been pretty inconsistent about the gem promos beginning with Garganacl. Actually, not really beginning with Garganacl, beginning with Scovillain. They've been very inconsistent with when we're getting them. So we'll see. It's kind of a weird situation.
6 months to a year, we'll see it. Yep. All right. And then let's see what else happened this week. Okay.
We have some Pokemon Center promos. We have lots of stuff to have fun with.
So the Pokemon Center has released 6 new TCG accessory product lines: Eevee and Umbreon Twilight, Battle Start featuring Pikachu, Ghostly Gathering featuring the Gengar line, Flowing Steel featuring a bunch of Steel-type Pokemon, Haunted Ruins with Impidimp and Pikachu Neon Charge. These were first posted to the Australian Pokemon Center website, but now they're also available as of this morning in the US. So I imagine this Umbreon and Eevee is going to go pretty quickly. But I like these designs. I wish Ultra Pro could do this, but...
So I like a lot of these designs. I think the Eevee and Umbreon in particular is just really beautiful. I expect these to sell fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I like them. These are very much not Ultra Pro designs. How's that?
I love that this Ho-Oh is usually associated with like the sun and daylight, but here it's in the night.
Yeah.
With the moon.
It's just like the little details, and they're like little silhouettes. The Oddish off on the right is beautiful too. No particular bias there. I just really, really I really like this product. It's great.
It's a Skarmory, I think, on the left, and I don't know what that is. Too small to tell. But yeah, these are now available on the Pokemon Center website, so go check it out. Speaking of the Pokemon Center website, they are also releasing the stamped Pikachu and Eevee promos that had the Pokemon Together stamps. These were originally released in Europe for the holidays. You could write a postcard and mail it to somebody, and they would get one of the promos, and you would get one of the promos. And that was exclusive to Europe, but now they're releasing it at the US and Canadian Pokemon Centers. And only those Pokemon Centers, not the other ones. So these cards will be available in 6 different bundles as of right now that are exclusive to the US and Canada. They range from $35.99 to $80.99. And the Pokemon Center promises that they're going to release new bundles every week throughout July. So these are the bundles that are available right now, and more will be coming. But it looks like this is their way of getting rid of, I guess, extra stock that they have by putting these bundles together, and you get the promos out of it. So I think that's pretty smart.
Yeah, a lot of this is extra stuff. Looks like the older version of the Battle Academy, the V Battle decks, the really bad ones. This is all junk. But you know what? Yeah. That's cool. I do think the Battle Academy is a nice product to have this with, and I think honestly it's the most deserving. Just because you're getting some EV promo with your learn to play product. It's fine for people that don't really the really casual people, or the people that are just kind of starting to dip their toes into the Pokemon TCG scene. I think this is fine.
And these promos are going, or as of when I posted the story, they were going for almost $200 on eBay, but now you can get it as cheap as $35.99. So hopefully that'll bring the price down. All right, what's our next story? Some English Shrouded Fable cards, but we'll just go over it real quick.
I mean, we've seen these cards before. Yeah. We know that we love the arts for the Duskull line, which is great, and that's done by, of course, James Turner. Mm-hmm. It's Shroud of Fable. Shroud of Fable looks to be a good set. Honestly, I wish it were combined with Stellar Miracle because we'd have a really killer August set if it were, but it's not. So, oh well.
It sure does not feel like a special set. And we've been saying that
no, it
originally
feels really good for a special set.
You think it feels good for a special set now?
As a player, yes.
Oh.
As a collector, no, it's terrible.
No, that's what I meant. Yeah. I mean, when it was first, when I first posted that there was going to be a special set, we didn't even, I was like a side note that, there's a possibility it could be the cards from Night Wanderer, but that was like the last theory on the list. And so this was like not expected originally to be the special set for the year, but they're doing it and it's a Halloween set. So, I, like you said, as a collector, I'm not particularly excited about it, but they have to release it somehow. So they should have just combined it with.
I just wish they had done something, literally anything else for the collector set. If they're going to do a mid-year collector set again, they've kind of been fumbling a little bit with the mid-year sets. Like Pokemon Go was a junk set. Collectors didn't care for it. Players, there are a couple of playable cards in there, but for the most part, players don't care about it either. It's just kind of been the situation with these mid-year sets, pretty much since Celebrations. Celebrations has been the last one that anyone really cared about.
Yeah.
It's always the end of year sets that people are more interested in. I guess 151 is an exception too, but that doesn't really count because it's a much larger set than these are.
Well, 151 was an extra special. It's also a
nostalgia bait set.
Yeah, it was an extra special set.
Yeah.
And this is like, I'd say this is like a lower tiered special set. But it's our first Halloween special set, which is different. So that's kind of cool.
I don't even know if I can call it a Halloween set. It just happens to have some Pokemon in it that are dark type.
No, it's totally Halloween. They were totally thinking
it's way too damned early to be a Halloween set. Don't give them credit.
No. I mean, I don't agree. I think it is, but whatever. All right, let's see what else was revealed. So China is getting, once again, new artwork for their Pokemon Go cards. And we see here a new Blastoise and new Radiant Blastoise, their artwork. China is releasing these Pokemon Go cards slowly over their compilation sets. So we just saw a bunch revealed the other week that were in their Brave Stars set that came out on June 18th. And then these are going to come out, this Blastoise and Radiant Blastoise alternate arts are going to come out in their Shadow of Glory set, which is coming out on August 2nd. So we're probably going to see even more Pokemon Go cards come out, but China does not always release the cards in their compilation sets that have come out in Japan. They cut some, they move them around. So we might not get all of the Pokemon Go cards in China, thus meaning you don't have to collect all these different artworks for them. But I'm really curious to see if they're going to release the, Pokestop and those very heavily inspired Pokemon Go centric cards because as we talked about in previous episodes, Pokemon Go is banned in China. And the reason that they're probably releasing these alternate artworks is because they share the original cards have a Niantic copyright, and Niantic probably has some ownership of the artwork that when they created the Pokemon Go set. So China probably had to commission new artwork for these cards. So we might not get some very specific Pokemon Go cards like that Pokestop card in China. So we'll see what happens.
Which really would be a huge problem because that card sees quite a bit of play. I think they're going to have to do something with it, even if it's literally just giving it a different name.
Yeah,
and making it a different kind of stadium.
They might, but they have cut cards from Japan, so it's not unheard of that they would. I mean, they have their own metagame at this point because they're releasing cards so quickly, and some of them are not releasing, so it might not matter. I don't know. We'll see. As always, we will see. But there should be more Pokemon Go cards coming out in this set that'll be revealed over the coming month or so. So we'll keep following that.
We shall see.
And then, okay, here's an exciting story. I still don't know where this commercial came from, but Stellar Sylveon EX and Stellar Ceruledge EX have been revealed. These are coming out in 2 pre-constructed decks, releasing on August 30th in Japan. They were revealed in a new commercial, but after I posted the story, I've seen the screenshot everywhere of this commercial, but I haven't been able to find where the commercial was posted. Sometimes their YouTube channel has posted things early by accident, and we don't realize until afterwards that they posted it early by accident because we get the notification and we just report on it. And then later they take it down and we're like, oh, they didn't mean to have that up. But for this one, I don't know where this commercial came from. But anyway.
Yeah. Even still, I mean, it reveals 2 cards more or less clearly, and then we see a bunch of other cards of interest. So
yeah, there's the Terra Orb trainer card right there. You have a new Ho-Oh,
a couple of ace specs,
2 new ace specs. This, I don't know what that one is, and then the new Charcadet and Vulpix, Meryl, Azumarill. But here's our translations of the cards done by Jake C on our translation team, but these cards are blurry, so we don't know for sure if these are the final effects.
Yeah, it's entirely possible these translations are incorrect or are not quite right just because the cards are so blurry. So we're going to read them out, but do keep that in mind as we're reading these texts. So for Sylveon EX, we have Magical Charm, which has Psychic colorless for its attack cost. It does 160 damage and says during your opponent's next turn, attacks from the defending Pokemon do 100 less damage. So you could pair this up with something like Xatu from Paradox Rift and throw a bunch of energy on Sylveon and then just kind of slowly wall out your opponent's Pokemon, kind of use healing cards, scoop up Cyclone, that kind of thing, just to be annoying. And then we have Angelite for Water Lightning Psychic. Angelite does or has the effect, rather, choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon and shuffle them and all cards attach them into your opponent's deck. If you used Angelite during your last turn, this attack fails. So I think the actual wording would be something along the lines of, if one of your Pokemon used Angelite during your previous turn, this attack can't be used. Either way, this is not a situation where you can just retreat out of it and use the attack effect again. It will not let you because it is no longer an effect that it's placing on the Pokemon. It is actually a game state check, whether or not you used it, which means you cannot use it 2 turns in a row.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, getting rid of 2 whole Pokemon and everything attached to them. I mean, if you could use that every turn, that would be, I mean, that would...
Yeah, it would be a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. And then we have the Ceruledge EX.
Yeah, Ceruledge, once again, Terra Pokemon. We have Abyssal Flames for a single fire energy. It does 30 damage and then does 20 more damage for each basic energy in your discard pile, which is vaguely interesting, I guess. And then you have Amethyst Rage for Fire Psychic Metal, which does 280 damage, and then you're forced to discard all of the energy from Ceruledge. So this card's kind of garbage, unfortunately.
Cool artwork, though.
Yeah, I mean,
and
for a Terra Pokemon.
Originally, a long time ago, we speculated that this could come out in our Stellar Crown set before we knew any details about it. But it's definitely these definitely are not coming out in Stellar Crown, so this will have to be early next year. So, yeah. All right, and then what else did we have for the week? Oh, shoot. I want to talk about this Lil Leap real quick. Hold on. This should have been in the earlier story for the Stellar Miracle story. But this Lil Leap illustration where, I mean, this woman is obviously like a Lil Leap fanatic. She has a Lil Leap pillow in her room, but she like installed a fish tank in her tiny little apartment and shoved this Lil Leap in this fish tank with some of the seabed. I just think it's hilarious. This resurrected Pokemon is in a fish tank in a woman's apartment in like what? Metropolitan Tokyo or something. It's just hilarious to me. But I just wanted to point it out. I mean,
it's an actual aquarium. There does appear to be water in there, so it's not like it's just a...
Well, it's such a tiny aquarium. It's like this Pokemon is resurrected from 200 million years ago. It used to be on the seabed floor, and now it's stuck in a fish tank in a woman's apartment. I just think it's funny.
I mean, better than drying up and dying, I guess. I'm going back to being extinct, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Resurrected to suffer in a fish tank.
Oh, Japan's TCG accessories for Stellar Miracle are awesome.
So we're getting into the stories now from the week that we didn't have the episode, but these are the accessories that are releasing alongside Stellar Miracle on July 19th. You can see
this Hydrapple
Hydrapple
art though is so good, and this deck box is so awesome. Like I'm thoroughly impressed. And then of course Lacey's adorable as heck. I'm a little upset we didn't get a Gramble or a Whimsicott in the set though.
I was about to say we should note that these accessories don't always market what's going to be in the set. They're not always an indicator. So it's got the Granbull, the Whimsicott,
and Primarina too. We didn't get Primarina either.
Yeah.
But we did get Lacey, and she's the most important thing on that artwork. So,
and then the Lapras, we get these random Lapras sleeves. It doesn't get a deck box with it, but it's pretty. And then of course the booster pack artwork. So that'll be in Stellar Miracle, or releasing alongside Stellar Miracle rather. And then our big story of last week was that Creatures has disqualified 6 entries from the 2024 Pokemon TCG Illustrator contest. They discarded all of those artists that had the variation of the VK name. So Vegan K, Vigo K, all those VKs were disqualified. Fans were suspicious of this guy because it looked like his entries all used AI and they had different names. So Creatures disqualified all of these entries, but they didn't say why they disqualified them. So we're not sure if they're taking a stance against AI or if they just disqualified them because they're obviously not. Yeah, which is what I think. They're not disqualifying them over AI. They're disqualifying him for having multiple entries. So, like I posted before, when Creatures announced this contest and started taking entries for it, there were no rules against AI, and AI still wasn't in public consciousness yet. The AI image generation tools wasn't really publicly a thing yet. So, we'll see if their next contest has some kind of rule against using AI. But I don't know.
I suspect it will, but I don't think they disqualify these for AI usage.
Right.
As much as people were hoping that were the case, I think it's literally just a case of somebody submitting more entries than they were allowed.
Yeah.
Because there are still a number. There are probably at least 3 or 4 entries that are very clearly AI.
Yeah.
Use. Yep. Still in the 300. They did not do it for that reason.
This whole contest has been messy. Like they also. When they announced these 6 new entries, which I'm about to get to, they also changed a bunch of the names on the entry list that they had already put up. So they got some people's names wrong in the top 300 list that they posted. So not only did they get the names wrong, have these multiple entries from one person, have the AI entries, and also post the incorrect number of entrants that they got this year. And
if I'm not mistaken, the TPC website actually apologized for the errors too, because there were quite a number of errors on that page. Did
they have a new update after I posted this one? Because they posted that they've disqualified the person. Did they have something else that said that?
No, it was a separate post.
Oh, I guess I didn't see it. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
But these are the 6 new entries they took. They're pretty cool. So I like this for alligator.
The Melmetal, and I like the for alligator.
Yeah, these should have definitely been in originally.
Yeah, I agree. They should have 100% been in already.
So as posted before, ultimately 3 winning artists will be announced in September. There'll be a standard illustration winner, 1 EX winner, and then 1 of either style. So 3 promo cards. And then last time you could get them with purchases at the Pokemon Center. So presumably they'll be doing that again whenever these come out.
Yep.
Alrighty. And then what was our next story of last week? Oh, Japan is... Oh, I'll get to this story next week because I actually have an update to this story. But basically, Japan has been reprinting all of their booster boxes from the past year or so. I'm going to have an update to this story, so I'll just talk about that next week. Oh, so yeah, I guess that's it for the last 2 weeks.
We do have the Texas illustrations, right?
Yeah, we do. We also have another update to that. There
is an update to this too.
Yeah, there is an update to this.
We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. No, well, I was going to save it to the end of July, but Creatures just announced this morning that they're going to be shutting down the Instagram account that posts these textless illustrations. This is their account. They're going to be shutting it down, but I was going to save it till the next batch of illustrations that I was going to post to put that on the website. But these are the ones they posted for June, as you can see here, and they've really
they've been very
slowing down. Yeah,
in their recent posting.
Yeah, they didn't, the last like 2-3 months they've been doing much less. So I don't know why. The account seems like it was pretty popular, I thought. Let me open it. Yeah, it's got 55.
I thought so too.
It's got like 55,000 followers. But yeah, they announced right here that they're going to be shutting it down. So yeah, I guess. I guess maybe that's probably is going to be the last batch of textless images they're going to post, because I guess they're ending it here. So I guess I should post a story about that. Maybe today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean it's a little disappointing, because this was like a really cool thing for people to be able to see, like the art, and specifically the art. Mm-hmm. Although they did say that there might be news coming in the future about how they handle like textless stuff, or maybe they're just yanking our chain and there's actually nothing at all. But
we'll see. All right, so that's it for the week.
For the last 2 weeks, even.
For the last 2, see, we got so quickly through the through last week's news. I mean, we wouldn't have been able to do much of an episode last week about it, so I'm glad we waited. Plus, I was out of town.
We just had one of those Justin Basil and John rant for 30-minute segments at the end of the, at the end of the podcast.
We would have been filling it up with filler talk. All right, so that's it for the week. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We love reading your comments. Let us know what you think, and we will
comment dreepy below if you made it this far.
And we will see you all next week. I'm going to start to say if there's any news, but I'm sure there will be news next week. Oh, what is coming up next week? I don't think I have anything in my calendar that I'm expecting. Oh, we're going to have this Stellar Miracle. Secret rares. That's what we're gonna have next week.
Oh yes, there will be something interesting for sure.
That'll be on.
I think there's gonna be a bit of a lull for a few weeks though after that, just because Worlds. We gotta wait for Worlds to get that really big news, and I'm super stoked for that. So
yeah, we'll have to, as we get closer to that, we'll have to give our predictions again and see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, we will see you all next week. Thanks for joining us, and have a good week. Bye.
Have a good one.